All right, so I took the pleasure of writing out a little intro. So I hope you like this. The founder, Chrishon Lampley, has created a signature wine collection that speaks to the soul through its experience. With its birth originally from her blog and radio show of the same name, Love Corkscrew grew as a lifestyle brand that caters to all. Slowly but surely, Love Corkscrew is making its way right into your house. Please welcome Chrishon Lampley.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Great intro. Great intro.
Ew. Now I was talking to Eric. This was probably like a week or two ago, but I was trying to remember. I'm like, I've seen this brand. I've had this brand. Okay, Eric, plug. Like I've seen it. I've had it. Where did I have it? Then I remembered it was at Live Cafe in Oak Park.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes, I was like, because I one thing I will remember is wine. I will never forget that. So I was like,
Yes.
I had a white wine. I don't remember which one it was, but I know it was a white wine and I really enjoyed it. And I think I was most captured by the design of the bottle and the taglines because it stood out and it was very different. Um, so I just wanted to say that I'm like, oh, I knew a little bit about this already.
No,
So
I love hearing that. I love hearing of people who saw the brand, have seen the brand without even knowing who I was or the story, but just, that's a marketer uh, brand's dream, right? To be noticed and seen prior to even even talking to us or learning about us. So and for it to stick out like that, that's just the best. So
yeah. I do want to just kind of jump into the questions. Like as I mentioned in the intro, this started originally from your blog slash radio show. So I do want to know, like when you were doing your blog and radio show at that time, what did you want your audience to experience, even before like the wine was as big as it is today?
no, great question. I wanted people to just get an insight on. So I'll backtrack to the reason why I started the blog. It was due to a tragic situation. We had lost our art gallery and bar due to a really bad flood caused by baby wipes. So we lost everything because our insurance did not cover baby wipes. So it was a way for me to release. I was in a very dark place at that time in my life because I lost everything. I was a days from getting kicked out of my home because we were connected to an SBA loan and just horrible, horrible place. And at the same time, we could be in that space. It doesn't mean people around us that know us are in the same space, right? So people were asking me, calling me like, Chrishon, you always know the coolest restaurants to go to or the best wines to drink and and where to hang out. So it was a release for me to start writing the blog. And the blog was called Love Corkscrew. So the love section were fun things that happened in the gallery as two single women that owned the gallery at the time. The cork section was my bridal picks and restaurant picks, in the screw section was a wild card talking about pop culture. So it went from this blog, because I was a terrible writer, but people loved it. They loved to hear all the stories. And then went to a radio show because I'm just more comfortable on radio. We had over 4,000 listeners on internet radio on SoundCloud at the time. And then it birthed Love Corkscrew. So it was just a release. That was my reason for Love Corkscrew. And it just turned into a beast now, a huge brand around the country.
All right. I love that. Like you didn't, even though the first business didn't go as planned, like you didn't give up, you still had an idea, you wanted to move forward with that. And it just started from doing something that you liked, that your friends thought you were really good at because they always asked you for the advice. And so it was just taking that and creating something more just with that. I wish a lot of us, I think a lot of us creatives kind of do that already. Like we listen to uh, what we're good at, what we like doing. But I think a lot of us also, like in the back of our minds, we're still listening to what our friends always like tell us we're good at also. It's
I
listening.
always say, yeah, your passion follows you. You can follow a passion and be really terrible at it, right? You could be passionate about singing and just have total be tone deaf, right? You can be passionate about baking and your food is terrible. doesn't mean you're not passionate about it, right? Doesn't mean you don't enjoy doing it, but your passion follows you. There's so many things that come so innate to us, to who we are, that we don't pay attention to. And that's what happened to me. I just always enjoyed people. I never could have told you that I was going to be a winemaker. What do you mean? Huh? Like, I could have never guessed that in high school or college or my adult years. So I think your passion follows you, and sometimes you just got to listen.
It's very true. It's very true. We have to, that's the key word. We have to listen. That's the hard part. Listen to what your passion is telling you. Since we're still talking about wine, this is kind of a personal question for me. In your opinion, how does a good wine heighten an already good experience?
Oh gosh, it's because it's all about the five senses, right? So everything we do is smell, taste, that all of our five senses set a mood and our tone, as well as just conversation. I think that is amazing around wine. Some of my favorite pastimes, people always say, well, what do you like doing besides wine? I've always loved going out to dinner with people and having conversations and bringing up things, whether it be debate, whether it be just fun questions, just thought-provoking things. So I think wine done right, with the right meal and paired correctly, can so set a mood. Think about, funny, and I just thought about it. I think about how many weddings I've gone to where if the wine was not right, it wasn't a good time, or if it wasn't open bar, right? If it's a cash bar, it ain't the best, is it?
No.
But when you're at those weddings that are open bar all night, man, you have a blast, right? And people don't understand, it's not just about the alcohol, it's the mood, the holding in your glass. You feel like, when you're in a beautiful gown or a man's in a tux and holding a glass of wine, oh, you're so sophisticated now, right? It just sets a tone and a mood that I think is just amazing, and I love the stories that come with the wine.
You know what? That's also, again, very true. I don't think I really thought about it in that sense, but whenever I'm out, especially at like a specific event, like if I get a glass of wine, I do feel different. I feel like,
Yes,
I don't know. I feel like I'm a little royal. Like, oh, I have a glass of
absolutely.
wine.
Then
I'm
if you had
feeling.
a bottle of Corona, right? Different feeling, different feeling.
It's
And
very,
nothing wrong with that, with a Corona, with an alignment. Hey, if I'm in Mexico, I don't mind that. But there's certain things that I believe that wine sets a tone for, that just it brings it up a notch, and I love it.
yeah. I always imagine, like, anytime a group of women get together and we have like a wine night, a girls' night, it always ends with like a glass of wine and laughter. Like they make the best pictures and the best memories. Like,
I always say the best kiki moments, like kiki, right? You just laughing and you have your legs crossed, you're laughing, joking, having a great time. So I think it's an experience just with, and it helps people open up for sure, right? Talk more and laugh more.
yes, most definitely. Um, in starting a business, this is something that I always want to know about starting businesses, because people assume that everything is easy, when they just kind of follow your journey and they only see the good parts. So people assume, oh, well, that was a breeze. So in starting a business, what's something that you assumed that you already knew, but completely proved yourself to be wrong? It's like, oh, I had no clue about any of this.
So many things. You kidding me? I did not know that your consistent growth had so many no's attached to it, if that makes sense. I thought as you grow in a business, and as you're productive and profitable and stuff, things get not easier, but get a little more yeses come, right, in your
Right.
success. There's more no's. There's more no's. So that's the part didn't expect, just in as an entrepreneur in general. Didn't expect. Not saying that when you made it, okay, done, that you didn't have to work, but I thought you made it and you're able to show your accolades or your success, that certain partnerships or certain things, that the deals, if you will, would become easier.
Mhm.
Like, wait, so I got all this, I got this done. I've been doing this for 8.5 years now. What do you mean? No, I've given you exactly what you wanted and what makes sense for us to take this to this step. And you mean no. So I think sometimes when we're people looking from the outside, they just think, okay, she's in this many stores and she's in that many stores. Oh my God, she sold 500,000 bottles, so she's a huge success. You know how many no's I get daily? Not even close, not even close to success yet. What I look at success to be. So I think the no's come more frequently, more often, and there's more noise involved for sure.
How do you handle, how are you currently still handling the no's? Like what is proven to work for you in helping you deal with that?
Keep it moving, leave it right there where it was. If it was a no, yes, it's cliche, but yes, with a no comes tons of yeses. And the funny thing is, it happens consistently, right? And you still get so stuck in that moment that you're like, oh God, this is tragic, right? The world's over with this one no. And then the next day I get like 5 yeses. So it's so funny. One time I was so stuck in this no, and I was really upset about it. My publicist, she looks at me and she's like, Chrishon, you enjoy the no's. Like, you enjoy this, stop. And it was so funny. That was just the biggest like wake up moment, slap in the face. I'm like, oh my God, she's right. I do enjoy the no's because it makes me work harder and push to want even more. But so I leave things in that moment, right? If I have to cry for 3 minutes, literally 3 minutes max, then I do. And I'm on to the next thing. Let it go. Let it go. You have to.
Gotcha. I'll keep that in mind. Let it go.
Let it go. My catchphrase has always been keep it moving. And I do like that when I say keep it moving. Because nobody cares about how you feel. That's in your head. Right? And you can't take things personal. It's about business.
Yeah, I've definitely learned that. Can't take it personal. I'm gonna try to keep it moving and not be so stuck on things. We're still kind of talking about like the challenging parts of it. What has been, or what is proven to still be a challenge besides the no's of owning your own business?
I'm being taken seriously. I'm definitely in an industry that doesn't look like me. As an African-American winemaker, negociant, there's literally 60 of us as African-American women out of 111,000 in the world that do this. So that's less than what, 0.00009% that do this. So a lot of people, assume that I'm not the owner. They think I'm just the ambassador or the face of the brand, that I really don't own the company, and I totally 100% own the company. So that there's always the not being taken seriously, and I'll have the same counterparts of people that are exactly as me, but don't look like me, and they don't get questioned. But I'll be in the room, so we'll be stand next to each other. I get all the questions. So now how do you make that wine? So you don't make it in your bathtub. So now how do you source it? So are you licensed? Or it's always these question. And it's so funny because they just roll off my tongue now. It's almost like I black out and just answer them because I'm so used to getting questioned all the time. But that guy next to me, not one question. They just believe him. So that's nonstop. So it's always proving myself.
What was, and this just kind of triggered this other question, what was like your first experience in a pitch meeting or in a boardroom, whatever it is?
It was fun. I actually went to, I believe it was Michigan or Wisconsin. And it was a women's conference event. And for them to be able to afford for me to come, I had to pitch in front of their Chamber of Commerce. Well, their Chamber of Commerce meeting was at a military base. So I literally got escorted, me, my publicist, my creative director, we got escorted onto this military base. I mean, talking like on the Jeep driving in this military base. We go into this boardroom. It's completely surrounded by about 30 white guys. And I had to pitch, just talk about my business, pitch for about an hour and a half. And it was funny because it was one of those moments. I'm always more comfortable in front of multiple people and tough situations than I am one-on-one. It's a really weird thing. It's been my whole life. I did a TEDx and I was in front of hundreds of people and I was like I'm home, right? So it was amazing because it was a feeling of, I got this because I know what I'm talking about. I don't know everything, but I know what I'm talking about. So there was no feeling of intimidation. There is no feeling of I shouldn't be here. It was very much of this is where I'm supposed to be. So after that, everything became so much easier to pitch, right? 50 white guys on a military base, believe you me, that was that was an experience.
I'm sure. Okay. I can only imagine. I kind of want to get into like the fun of it. Can you describe, like, in your opinion, what's a really fun night that involves love corkscrew wine? Like, what does that look like?
Oh, there's so many things that are fun. I always say this is not sexy that like people think it is, but there are fun moments. There's times where I take my staff, we go to the Vineyard, we drive up to Michigan, about 2.5 hour drive, and we just have fun going through the vines and tasting wine and photo shoots and just have a good time. I try to have fun with my staff as hard as they work. They deserve to have a good time a lot. But between wine tastings, but for the consumer, galas and events that we do, you know, when the world opens up, I can't wait to go back to normal, being a part of so many amazing organizations that have Love Corkscrew for their functions, from the sneaker ball to just amazing galas that we have been a part of. So just being able to see Love Corkscrew in so many hands, supporting so many causes, but involved in so many luxurious events, it's always a great thing. And some great 6-course meals that my wine gets paired with. It's always fun to have a chef doing things with their wine, not only paired with the meals, but in the meals. One of my favorite chefs, Chef Ken Polk of Batters and Berries, he does certain sauces with my Cabernet Sauvignon. That's great with just like lamb and steak and just amazing things. So it's always awesome to see my wine paired or add into recipes as well.
So quick shout out to Batter and Berries, because my God, I was like, why is all this delicious? But that was like back in my day when I was eating everything. So I'm vegan now, and I did learn wine is vegan. And
yes, it is.
Yes.
Thank God. Okay.
Yes.
So what would you pair? What's like a vegan meal that you would pair one of your red wines with? I love red.
Oh, the Cabernet Sauvignon, definitely eggplant Parmesan. I think it'd be amazing with that. That, and I've had it with that before, and it's absolutely delicious. But any of your, you know, your hearty vegetables, if you will, your sautés and things like that, are amazing. And there's so many. I don't know if you do the not meat type product things like, or the chicken fake. I don't want to say fake chicken, but you know what I'm saying. There's that is great with my Riesling, because my Riesling is a semi-sweet, so it has a little aromas of kind of grapefruit and lemon zest to it, so it gives this awesome citrusy, delicious feel to it. All my wines are amazingly aromatic, so they're just going to pair well with any vegetable dish. Any vegetable. This is all in how you season and everything. But yeah, absolutely. My wines, vegans love my wines because they're vegan.
I'm like, it's a little difficult to be going through the aisles and trying to make sure all the wine.
Yeah. No, understood.
Yeah, a lot of people are not putting it on the label. So,
and I'll be one of them. I don't, and I'll say that it had nothing to do with me not wanting to, but for a lot of people in my industry or in the food industry, no, it's a long process to get that type of labeling done. Mm-hmm. So it was just, my labels were approved by the TTB 10 years ago. So it's something that I just have not been able to put on the labels yet, but my wines have always been vegan. You know, as the times change and as we all change and evolve, certain things are asked for a lot more. 10 years ago, nobody cared, right? When it came to the wine industry. Now they do. So we are making some updates to our labels. Even our next batch are going to have the nutritional value on it, which is very new in my industry. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Do wines usually have like nutritional label? I'm like,
no. So I will be one of the first. Which is really exciting.
Look at that. All right. So I'll definitely be out at all the stores picking up my wines.
Yes, so it's going to be the next round. So you'll probably see it on the shelves with the new labels within the next couple months.
Okay, well, I'm going to start early so that I can start drinking now. And then
absolutely.
I do want to ask about your vineyard, because I also read that you have your own vineyard. Can you tell me about the process of just acquiring that, or why was that the route? Because I don't know, like, is it typical for winemakers to just have their own vineyard, or do they go through a second party that produces their product for them?
So I actually source. So I don't have my own vineyard. I source through 3 different vineyards. So what does that mean? So the easiest way to put it is any juice within those tanks that are produced for Love Corkscrew is my creation. So the easiest way to also to put it is I'm the chemist, if you will, of the production.
Okay.
So it's not my land. It is my wine. So I decided to do this negociant route because I wanted to make sure that I'm able to get all flavor profiles from all around the world, not just the country, all around the world. So as a negociant, I can source if I want in Germany for the Riesling, in Italy if I want for the Pinot Grigio. I can go to South Africa and do an amazing Pinotage. So I'm able to actually do more than have just one piece of land, right? Because in the industry, if you have this one area, your wine is going to taste that profile, and that's it. You're not going to be able to change it. So no, I actually decided to actually purchase and go custom crush route through different vineyards. So I source. I've been sourcing for 10 years now. So my formula was created over 10 years ago, and then I hit the shelf 8.5 years ago. So that's a very hard process. Usually to have your own vineyard, that's usually to get the most, what's the best word for it? Just to get the most rich grape, if you will. It would have to be either passed on to you, like that land is bought, right? So it would have to be definitely something special. Now, winery is different because winery, you buy the grapes from the vineyard, you produce the wine within that factory, that manufacturer, that house. 2 different things, right? So the industry is quite complicated, but I decided that I wanted to take the nationwide route as far as having my wines hit nationwide in distribution than being stuck in a 4 walls and hoping to produce that same wine and that same wine sells, right? I rather have a brand, and that's what I decided to do. And I've been very, very, I don't want to say lucky because I work my bleep off, but it's been an amazing journey doing it this way.
Well, thank you for the clarification. And that, I like that better because as a wine drinker, people who just enjoy wine, I think one of the things we enjoy the most is trying different wines and knowing that they come from different countries, different places, so that you can
Exactly.
taste the wine of this country and what's their, what
Bingo.
it tastes like. So I do appreciate that. I've been finding myself, I like a lot of Italian wines. So I'm stuck on that right now. But I'm moving from country to country. So I appreciate
Love it.
just like
Love it.
something new. Thank you for that. So what I also noticed is that each bottle has like a different slogan, a different tagline on it. I really, really love that. Can you kind of break down like the meanings of some of your favorite taglines, if you have any, what it means? Because I have my own interpretation of what it means, but I think everybody wants to hear it from you.
And that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted. All my labels were double entendres. So I wanted you to have a different feeling maybe than I did. I wanted it to be an experience that you have had. I wanted them to all be different. So the reasoning of my labels were very simple, that people buy wine, number 1 for the label, number 2 for the price, number 3 for the taste. They'll go back from 1 and 2, not even really like how the wine tastes, but they can manage their expectations. And they're going to drink and buy the same wine, because the wine aisles are very confusing because there's a lot of different wines out there and a lot of different labels, and you have no idea what if that label is going to be good to you or not, right? So I said, well, some people may not be able to pronounce Bordeaux, Chenin Blanc, Chianti, or know the flavor profile, but they're going to remember that they loved We're Moving On Up. They're going to remember my Pinot Grigio, which is Good Times, Good Friends. So as simple as setting the mood. For me, we're moving on up. Yep, the Jeffersons. The Cabernet Sauvignon being from California, that's kind of like that level up, right? So
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure that that one was special because that's my baby. That is because I love Cabernet Sauvignon. So that's my favorite. Good Times, Good Friends, my Pinot Grigio, because I think Pinot Grigio is the perfect wine to bring to a friend's house.
Okay.
So it was like some very simple Hard Knock Life. It had nothing to do with Jay-Z. I always wanted to be Annie. I grew up in musicals. I was a classical trained pianist and I was born with red hair. And I always wanted to be Annie. So it was the color of red hair. That was Hard Knock Life. Touch the Sky was not Kanye. It was simple because it was like the color of the sun from my Niagara. So some of my reasoning for the names are completely different than what people think. We Go High, that's because I'm in North Kenwood, not far from Michelle Obama's Obama's house. But a lot of people think of it something that's legal now in several states, right? That's fine.
Wow.
However you want to take any of the labels, it sets the tone for your experience, and I want people to enjoy it that way. And I think people have. My wine is great for gifts, and a lot of people buy it for different moods, different feelings.
I love that. And that's very smart marketing also, because what people will automatically, or what I've noticed that people will go towards is the labeling. Because
Yep.
it's like you said, the
Period.
wine aisles are confusing. It's like I
Very.
find myself in a wine aisle, it's like reds, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, which red do I want? Do I want a Pinot Noir or Cabernet or whatever? And I'm just sitting there kind of reading labels to see if I knew what they mean. So yeah, it can be very confusing. But
Absolutely.
if you see a wine and it's like, oh my God, I love this label, even for me, I'm gonna pick that up easily because I'm like,
Me
this
too.
caught my eye. I want to know what it tastes like now.
Same here. If it's interesting, I'm going to pick it up. If it's setting the mood or tone that I'm going to pick it up. And that's what I wanted people to do. And that's some of the success of Love Corkscrew.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Can you give us like, okay, now I'm not trying to be like all in your business, but do you have like a favorite night or a favorite time or event that you had with your own wine, with your friends and everybody involved?
Oh gosh, my favorite time actually was at BuzzFeed. So BuzzFeed in New York, the home office invited us there for a Black business workshop or shopping experience.
Mhm.
It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life because not only were um, all these people buying my wine from the BuzzFeed Corporation, it was just so cool to have that. And of course, they know how to post like no other, right? So my social media was on fire. But that same weekend, we were able to launch We Go High. Well, I ended up going back because there was a company that saw us there in New York and had been following me on social media for years, and they wanted us on billboards in Times Square. So We Go High was on 42nd and 7th and 42nd and 9th on the number one and number two billboards in Times Square. And it was unbelievable. So my creative director, it was almost like two people going on like Survivor, Amazing Race. We're like running with our backpacks and going from one billboard to the next to catch them. And the video is on my Facebook page. And it was just an unbelievable experience to say that my wine is in Times Square. You kidding me? On two billboards? On
Right.
two billboards? So that was just unbelievable. So that experiencing that with my staff and my creative director just filming me the whole time was unreal. Unreal.
That sounds amazing. Also, and I was about to ask, I'm like, where's the video? Where's the pictures? Just now I'm gonna go see.
Yes, it's at the top of lovecorkscrew.com's Facebook page. People can see the video there. It's live, and some people say they were jumping up and down with me or crying. It was the coolest thing ever.
That sounds amazing. I'm definitely gonna check that out. Um, can you tell us, is there anything new or upcoming for the brand itself?
So much, but the number one thing is for the last 8 years we've been distributed in Chicago, in Illinois as a whole, and Ohio for about a year. But now we are hitting 11 states, which is just huge growth for us in a matter of 2 months. We go from 2 states to 11 states in 2 months. So that is extremely exciting. So Love Corkscrew, not only do I ship nationwide, I've been doing that for years, but to be able to be put in stores around the country, it's just an amazing feeling. From Myers to Total Wines and More to Walmart, to Target, to just so many stores that we're going into. It's a cost plus world market. It's just an amazing, amazing experience. So look for Love Corkscrew to be in other listeners. If you're in other states, Love Corkscrew will be there soon.
Well, that's when you know you have good wine. So it's gonna be in 50 states soon.
Soon. That's what we're working on. That's what we're working on.
There you go, because you have good wines, actually great wine. All right, I'm excited about that because I'm going to be traveling and I'm going to be looking for Love Corkscrew.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it on the shelves in other states. It's going to be exciting for me. It's been a long time coming.
All right. One thing I do have to put my friends on. Will you have it up? Will it be made public about which states
yes.
wine will be in?
Absolutely, coming soon. I will be making the announcements coming soon. Yes, probably in the next week, actually.
All right, good to know. Let me put my.
But I'll name a few now, though. I'll name a few. Texas, Love Cork should be there. California, New York is there right now in a store in Brooklyn. That's gonna enhance very quickly. But Georgia coming soon. So that's just to name a few.
All right. Yep. Okay. Well, I got some friends to call, so I can put them on. We should look forward to this. So you kind of just named a few of the stores where people can get Love Corkscrew wines from. Will there be more stores along with more states?
Absolutely. So the easiest way for people to find that is just go on lovecorkscrew.com. If you go to the store locator, type in your zip code, and it'll show you what store is near you. But yes, there's going to be multiple states added with multiple stores, several big box stores and grocery stores.
All right. Okay, and here's another personal question for me. So if I get a Cabernet, I also noticed that the brand does candles. That you have candles, and I love candles. So which one of your candles would you pair with your Cabernet?
Oh, my favorite is the Perfect Man candle. Definitely. It's amazing. It's so funny because women buy it, but men buy it too because it sets the mood. But it's so rich and sultry. I think it's very sexy. So I say the Perfect Man candle for sure. And my second favorite from me, and I have some, oh, funny, I have it right here. This is the Perfect Man candle. It's like unbelievable. Oh, God. But my other favorite is Ecstasy and Risque, but Ecstasy and Perfect Man would be amazing to set the tone with that.
Just right there.
That's my number one selling candle.
The Perfect Man. I'm just taking note. Don't mind me.
Yes, number one selling candle.
And Ecstasy. All right, heard that. Yeah, Eric, you got some questions? Because I've just been talking.
No, I've enjoyed this. I booked this for a reason. I wanted you to talk because maybe you make candles yourself. I'm a wine lover and eventually want to be into the wine business myself once I get more research into it. So that was one of the reasons I booked this. Definitely have enjoyed this and learned a lot. And doing the research on your inspiration, just hearing the background of how you started from a blog to a radio show is so similar to how I started reaching every artist. Like it was literally just a blog page. Then I converted to media and doing radio. And now I'm just trying to get into other things also with building a brand. It's basically what it is, a brand. That's what you're doing. So it's like, it's a parallel. It's just for me, it's like an inspiration to see where you're going and what you're continuing to accomplish and knowing that you're still not satisfied where you are.
Never satisfied, right? But yes, I love it. I love it. And when I mentor a lot of entrepreneurs, I mentor entrepreneurs that have been in business way longer than me. For them saying, how do we do this? How do we mix this up to make this work? Or entrepreneurs that are getting started. And the one main thing I always say is stay true to who you are and your brand. It will all make sense. Don't you dare be a pet shop and a realtor, and you also sell clothes, and that's hustling, two different things. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're building a brand, it all has to make sense. It all has to make sense. And I always compare it also to old school mixtapes, right? You can be the best artist, best rap artist, best singer, and it's on a mixtape but if nobody ever hears it, who cares? Nobody knows you exist, right? But there'll be some artists that are absolutely horrible, but they were marketing geniuses. So they had all this attention, had this opportunity to get out. And he might have been the best rapper on this mixtape, but this guy is out and about in front of everybody and boom, superstar, right? Same thing with the pet rock. I use that. People don't know from the 80s. There was a rock with a face on it that made millions of dollars. It was a genius marketing. Genius marketing. Chia pet, the freaking weed. But it's all about marketing. So the point is you have to build a brand. And when you build a brand, that thing will come, whatever's supposed to make sense. But it all has to make sense and you have to work for it. It takes 10 years to be a one-hit wonder, like they say, right?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yes.
I have one last question. In regards to your brand, what are you most proud of thus far?
I'm most proud of the inspiration that the brand has given to others. Just like Eric said, I hear that a lot of times and how people are touched by just the inspiration of keeping going. I've definitely am a comeback kid. I've lost everything and came back in an industry that doesn't look like me. And I always say I always want to break every glass ceiling until there's no more to be broken. So if I can affect one person to follow dreams, then I've done my job. And that's what I want Love Corkstra to be. Love Corkstra is bigger than me, bigger than Chrishon Lampley. And I really, really want to show people you've got to do it. You have one life. While your heart's still beating, you have a purpose. Mm-hmm. So don't stop, never settle. And that's why I want my legacy to be.
There you have it. Chrishon, thank you so much for talking with us here at REA Radio. I really appreciate it, and Eric appreciates it, but we appreciate this just specifically for myself because I've learned a lot just in a short time that we've talked. So a lot of clarification, a lot of inspiration, and I'm definitely going to be getting me a few bottles because I just want to definitely support. And I do remember when I've had this wine, I do remember the taste. And I was like, okay, well, let me go back and get another glass.
I love it.
I do remember that. And I'm like, I don't remember a lot of wines, how they tasted, because they probably weren't good. But I do remember that I had a white wine and it was good.
Yeah, I definitely.
Thank you.
Had a second glass of that. I do remember that also.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, I bet you it was the Riesling. I have a feeling it was the Riesling or it was Touch the Sky Niagara. Was it sweet?
Yeah,
or was it semi?
It was the Riesling because it was sweet.
Yeah. That one's my number one seller. Head Over Heels is my number one seller. And I remember actually Rashida at Live Cafe. I remember her selling that a lot. So that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So yes, and by all means, any of your viewers, listeners, they can use my discount code LOVE on lovecorkstra.com. They're welcome to use that, and we ship daily. So by all means, take advantage. LOVE is my discount code.
All right. Well, I'll be on the website and get my discount.
Absolutely.
Again, thank you so much for talking with us. We appreciate it. We wish you
thank you
the best, more success, and I look forward to the announcement for all the other states that it's to come. That will be.
It's coming.
Screwing. Thank you. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you.
And
take care. Peace and love.
Bye.